Okay, so this is June 2017. It's paper 5, so that's the higher one for OCR. Question 1. Work out 2/15 times 15 over 22. Okay, now when it's multiplying and there's no whole numbers in front, you do multiply across the top and then multiply across the bottom. But if you can simplify any top with any bottom, I'm pointing to the pairs here, then you can do that first of all, and it makes it a bit, the numbers a bit more manageable. So if we say, look, 2 and 22, that actually cancels down to 1 over 11. And then 15 and 15, divide top and bottom by 15. Okay, so 2/15 times 15 over 22. It's exactly the same as 1 times 1, which is 1. It's getting a bit messy, sorry. 1 times 1, which is 1, and 1 times 11, which is 11. 1 is 11 for the denominator. Okay, number 2. The graph shows Mia's journey from her home to her university. Okay, so it's a distance time graph. So this is the time it takes to get from home to university. That's going to be 2.5 hours. I'll write that down now. And then this one here, this up here, home to university, 160 kilometres. Okay, so the average speed is the total distance divided by the total time. If you think speed is kilometres per hour in this case, okay, so it's the kilometres on the top of the fraction and the hours on the bottom. 160 divided by 2.5. Well, I would say multiply, you find an equivalent fraction, and I would multiply top and bottom by 4 here. So that's going to be, the reason I chose 4 is because it makes the denominator into 10. 160 times 4, 640. And then it's straightforward to divide by 10. 640 divided by 10, 64 kilometres per hour. Okay. Right, last year Katie earned £16,200. Her total loan repayments were £6,400. She estimates that the ratio of her loan to her earnings is approximately 3 to 8. Is she correct? So loan, earnings. Okay, so if you look at this here, loan is first in the sentence, so put the loan number in first of all, and earnings is second in the sentence, so put the earnings in second. Okay, because it's got to match up, that the order's important. Okay, so we'll divide by both of these numbers by 100. You can simplify them down like you would with fractions. And then they'll both divide by 2. 32 to 81, half in each one. And then I'm going to divide by 10. So it's 3.2 to 8.1. And then 3.2 is equals to 3 to 1 dp. 8.1 is equal to 8 to 1 dp. So I would say she is correct. Okay. Because this is approximately equals to 3.8. We're happy with that. Right, Rashid invests money into an account which pays a fixed rate of compound interest each year. The value V, so that's the value of his investment after T years, which is that there, is given by this formula. So when you've got this formula, V is the value, T is the number of years. This number here, this is always the initial investment, and it's multiplied. If there's a 1 there, it means if it was 1,250 times 1, there'd be no interest, but it would stay the same every year. So the interest here, the 1 isn't the interest. The 1 means you get at least, you're going to get your initial plus the 0.03 is the gives us the interest rate. So it's actually 3%. Okay, so if it was a 3 in that position, it'd be 30%. When it's in that position, second decimal place, it's 3%. So how much did he invest? 1,250. The rate of interest is 3%. And it's compound interest means that you get interest on your interest. So you're not getting the same amount every year. So, and because he starts off with 1,250, so he's got to start not at 0. So this is the graph which represents the compound interest. Okay, so that's that one there. Right, rearrange the equation to make x the subject. Okay, so this means we need to get this to have an x equals. We've got a 7x minus 3 is y. So we're going to have x in terms of y. At the moment, we've got y in terms of x. So first thing we'll do, we need to get x on the left-hand side. So we say 7x equals y plus 3. So minus 3 on the left, plus 3 on the right. And then 7 times x on the left. We can divide by 7 and everything on the right. Y plus 3 divided by 7. Factorise means write with brackets. We've got 2 terms, which just means write with brackets if you can. Each of these divides by an x, because it's x squared. X times x is x squared, and x times y is xy. X times x, x squared, and x times minus y minus xy. So it's x minus y. This one, x squared plus 8x plus 12. So we're going to multiply x with a number, a constant, times x with another constant. And what we've actually get is that's going to be a constant times x, and that's going to be a constant. Oh, that's not the right way to explain it. Sorry, I'll start again. I think the way they teach it in school, they've got to multiply to make 12 and add to give 8. So we need 2 numbers that multiply to make 12 and add to give 8. 12, when it's plus and plus, we don't have to worry about negative numbers. So it's either 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4, and our answer is going to be 2 and 6. So the check, which is where I was started with, x plus 2 times x plus 6, that's x squared. I got that far before. You see, in this position here, we've got x times 6, which is 6x, and in this position here, we've got 2 times x, which is 2x. You see, and they add to give us the 8x that we want. Oops. And then in this bottom position here is, let's get rid of that, it's too big. 2 times 6 is 12. So that was just a check. So our actual answer is x plus 6, x plus 2. I've written another way that some teachers say x times x is x squared, 6 times 2 is 12. So that's given us the x squared and the 12, and the 8x comes from these bits. I think the idea is it makes a smiley face. Okay, so there we go. All right. Jenny plays 4 games of golf. For these games, the modal score was 76. Mean score, so that's important. Mean score 75. 4 is important. And the range is 10. That's important. What were her scores for the 4 games? So the first thing I would do here is work out the total for the 4 games. And for that, I'm going to use, let's use a different colour, bright yellow. The fact that the mean score was 75, that means that the 4 games, the total for the 4 games, well, if the mean is 75, So therefore, that's therefore the upside down triangle with dots. The total divided by 4 is 75. Because when we add them all up and divide by 4, we get 75. So the total is 75 times 4, which is 300. So that's the first bit of information, get the total. Next bit of information. Oh, well, actually, let me go back to that yellow because I've used that 4 as well now. Next bit of information is that the modal is 76. Okay, so if the modal is 76, that means we've either got two 76s or 3 76s, 2 76s or 3 76s. We can't have 4 76s because that would be more than 300. We can't have 1 76 because it's got to be the mode. Okay, so if we think 4 times 76 is greater than 300, so we don't want that one. Okay, that would be too easy as well. Right, if we've got 2 times 76, right, if we've got 3 times 76, that's going to make a total of 210 plus 6, that's 216. I did the tens first of all, 3 70s are 210. Oh, sorry. 3 times 76. 76 times 3, 18, 20. 3 6 are 18, 3 7s are 21 plus 1, 22. 228. And that would give the last score to make it up to 300. 300 take away 228 is 72. And that doesn't have a range of 10 because you'd have 3 76s and a 72. And then the range would be 4. So it's not that one. So we don't need to worry about that one. So we've definitely got 2 76s. Okay. Now the range of scores is 10. Okay. So that means that... Right. First thing to do, could 76 be the highest or the lowest? If 76 can't be the lowest because 76 and 76 and then 2 higher numbers will go to 300. Will go above 300. So 76 can't be the lowest. If 76 was the highest, then the lowest would have to be 66. If the max is 76, the minimum has got to be 66 to give us a range of 10. So you've got 76, 76 and 76, 6, 12, 18. Oh, sorry. And 66 there, 6, 12, 18. Seven, 14, 21. That means that, yeah, it can't be because that's going to be 82 for the other game. And that's then stops it. The range is then no longer 10. So we can't have the max. We can't have the minimum. The minimum is not equals to 76. The max is not equals to 76. Because if the max is 76, the minimum would be 66. And then we'd still need 82, which means that 76 wasn't the max. So that goes wrong there. Right, so 76 is in the middle. So then we've got, right, so the highest plus the lowest is going to be 148. Okay, these two have to add up to 148 because these add up to 152. That makes 300. Okay, but because the range is 10, the highest, take away the lowest, has to be 10. Okay, so it's simultaneous equations now. I'm going to zoom in. If we add these together, 2h is 158. So if 2h is 158, 1h is 158 divided by 2. 2's into 15 go 7, remainder 1. 2's into 18 go 9. So our highest has to be 79. And then our lowest, to make the range 10, has to be 69. Okay. So, quite involved that question is. So, 3, that comes from thinking about the range being 10. And I did check everything, like the max 76, min 66, so it can't be that. And I also said the min can't be 76 because we already know that would then therefore mean we've got 2 even higher ones and it would go beyond 300. Okay, so it turned into simultaneous equations in the end. But there we go. Okay, number 7. Population of a village is in the following ratios. Men to children, 11 to 3. Women to children, 5 to 2. Find the ratio men to women. So men to children, right, is 11 to 3. Women to children, right, so what we need to do, we want men to women, we've got to make the children the same in the ratio. So, because it's 3 and 2, we need to make them both into 6s. So we've got to multiply these ones by 2, and these ones by 3. It's 22 to 6, men to children, and then 10, that's men to children, women to children, 10 to 4, multiply by 3, 15 to 6. Okay, so you've got 22 men for every 6 children. You're going to have 15 women for every 6 children. So men to women is 22 to 15. Okay, so basically, multiply by the opposite. If there are 36 children in the village, 36 children, okay, men to children is 11 to 3. So if we've got 36 children, that's times 12. So this is times 12. We've got 11, so the men is 11 times 12, 120, 132. And then, the women to children, 5 to 2. So that's 36. So that's times 18. So this has to be times 18. That's going to be 90. 5 18s. The way I did that quickly, I did 5 10s are 50, 5 8s are 40. Make to 90. That's 132. Okay, so the women is 90. The children, the women came from 5 times 18. The children, 36 from the question. Add up 8, 3, and 9 is 12, and 3 is 15. 258 in total. Imran joins 2 tiles together as shown below. One tile is a regular hexagon, that's the 6-sided shape here. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the other is a pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. Show that angle A is 132. Right, regular. They both say regular. I like that. Means we can use look, regular there. Regular. Right, so what we can imagine regular means that all the angles are the same. So hexagon, we start from one particular corner, makes 4 triangles. Okay, and each of those triangles got 180 degrees, and we've got, so that means the total of all these angles is 4 times 180. But then if we share them out among the 6 angles, it's 4 times 180 divided by 6. So that's going to be 30, 120 degrees. So it means an angle in the hexagon is 120 degrees. Okay, so for the pentagon, take a particular corner. Pentagon 1, 2, 3 triangles. 3 times 180, and this time divided by 5. And then 5's into 180, 36. And 3 times 36 is 108 degrees. So each one of those is 108. Okay, so show that angle A is 132. So A is going to be 360 degrees. Take away 120 degrees. Take away 108 degrees. So it's 360 degrees. Take away 228 degrees, which does equals 132 degrees. Imran thinks that another tile in the shape of a regular polygon will fit exactly into 132 degrees. I was going to say exactly into angle A. Is Imran correct? Show your reasoning. Okay, so what's important here? The 6-sided shape gives us 4. The 5-sided shape gives us 3 here. Okay, so we're going to say this unknown shape. Let's say it's n, and it's going to be n minus 2, because the 6 gives rise to 4 triangles here, the 5 to 3, so it's n minus 2, and it'd be times 180 divided by n, because it's divided by the number of sides, and that's going to therefore be 132. Okay, so what we can do, multiply both sides by n minus 2 times 180 is 132 times n. Expand the left hand side, 180n minus 360 is 132 degrees times n. So let's take 132 degrees times n from each side. So it's going to be 48 degrees times n minus 360 equals 0. Add 360 to each side. 48 degrees times n is 360 degrees. So n is 360 divided by 48, and this is not a whole number. So Imran is not correct. It's got to be a whole number for an exact number of sides. This exact thing. Imran is not correct. Okay. Number 9. George is the manager of a shoe shop. He samples 50 of his customers, 33, 41, they're the 50, and asks them about the one style of shoe they would buy next. The table shows his results. So laced, boots, sandals, trainers, or other. Okay, and this is how they responded. George buys 1,000 pairs of shoes with a number of each style based on his survey results. How many pairs of sandals should he buy? Write down any assumption you make about his sample. Okay. So this is 18 out of 50. This is 15 out of 50. Sandals 8 out of 50. 5 out of 50. 4 out of 50. Okay, so that's the proportion of each, and it's sandals is what we're interested in. So he actually wants 8. It's got to be that proportion of the 1,000. Okay. So it's 8 divided by 50 times 1,000. Divide any top with any bottom, like we did in question 1. So it's 105. That's going to be 20 there. So 50s into 1,000 go 20. 8 times 20. He should buy 160 sandals, pairs of sandals. But what's making me think here is about the weather. Write down any assumption you make about this sample, that the weather, we're assuming the weather will not affect the customer's decision. Okay. It's all about the season. They might not choose to buy sandals if it was close to winter, say. Right, to solve the inequality, let's add 2 to each side. 3x is greater than 12. Let's divide both sides by 3. So it's 4. Add 2 to each side first of all. Divide both sides by 3. X is greater than 4. And the inequality sign stays in the same direction. If we multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, which we haven't, then you'd have to reverse the inequality, but we didn't. This one, let's start by adding 4x to each side. So 10x plus 2 is 5. Let's subtract 2 from each side. 10x equals 3. And then let's divide both sides by 10. So we're not multiplying or dividing by a negative number. And it doesn't even matter because it's an equals. So x is equals to 0.3. Oh, getting a bit late, I think. Right, next page. Vector A is 2, 1. Vector B is minus 2, 1. So we start here. 2A, 2A. 2, 1 means 2 across and 1 up. And then 2 across and 1 up again. We need 2 of them. Or you can say it's 4, 2, double, double. Okay. A plus B. So you can either say it's 2 across and 1 up for A, and then 1 across and 2 down for B. Oh, I did that the wrong way around, sorry. Minus 2 and 1 up for B. So there's the A. This one is 2A. 2 across, 1 up for A. Minus 2 and then 1 up for B. There we are. So that is actually A plus B there. Okay. A plus B. 2, 1 plus minus 2, 1, which is 0, 2. So we start from there, we'll go 0 across and 2 up. Emma says that if she draws vector A and vector B, they will be the same. Explain why this is incorrect. Well, it's because this is called the horizontal component, this is called the vertical component. So the horizontal component of A is not the same as the horizontal component of B. Okay, Another question. C is minus 12, 0. Find the value of k, so that k times a minus b equals c. Well, a is 2, 1. B is minus 2, 1. So it's 2, 1 minus minus 2, 1. And then that's got to be equals to c, minus 12, 0. So k, and we'll do these takeaways here. So you take away the tops, take away the bottoms. 2 minus minus 2 is plus 4. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so it's this one here that's going to give us some information. This isn't going to really help because k times 0 is automatically 0. But here, k times 4 is minus 12. So k is minus 12 divided by 4. So k is minus 3. Number 12. Helen delivers parcels. On Tuesday, Helen delivered 20% more than on Monday. On Wednesday, 50% fewer than on Tuesday. On Wednesday, 72 parcels. Calculate the number of parcels Helen delivered on Monday. Right, so Wednesday is 72. Let's go backwards. Tuesday, Wednesday, so that I've done that line there. On Wednesday, Helen delivered 50% fewer parcels than on Tuesday. So that means that Tuesday must be doubled to 144, because 50% fewer than on Tuesday. If she delivered 144 on Tuesday, 50% fewer is 72. Okay, so working backwards, 50% fewer gives us a double. So I've done that one. And then on Tuesday, Helen delivered 20% more parcels than on Monday. Okay. So, if you've got 20% more, that is 1.2 as a multiplier. So 1.2, because 1 is everything that you've got already, and the 0.2 is the 20%. So the 20% more comes from being 0.2. So 1.2 times the Monday total is 144. So the Monday total is 144 divided by 1.2. Okay, multiply top and bottom by 10 to make the numbers a bit more manageable. And 144 divided by 4 is 12. 0. Just going to check this. 120. I haven't worked these out before I begin. Right, so I think these are my numbers. On Tuesday, 20% more than on Monday. 20% of this, well, 10% is 12, so 20% is 24. 120 plus 24, 144. Fine. On Wednesday, 50% fewer than on Tuesday, so it's half as much. 72, yeah. I'm happy. Right, write 7/9 as a recurring decimal. Now you might know that 1/9 is 0.1 recurring, so 7/9 is 0.7 recurring. And that would be the quick way of doing it, but they're not always going to be ones that are easy to remember. So you can think about this as 7 divided by 9. So it's 9s into 7. You can put some decimal points in so you can spot the pattern. 9s into 7 go 0, remainder 7. 9s into 70. Well, 9 7s are 63. So it's remainder 70. 7, 63. 9s into 70 go 7, remainder 7. I've got the pattern now. Okay, so it's not 0.7 recurring. So if it's one that, if you know it straight out, brilliant. If you don't, you put the bottom on the left of the division sign here, and then the 7 there. Right, Sally divided a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number, and her answer was 3.1818181818. Okay, so you can say 3.18181818, etc., etc. This is 3 plus 0.18 recurring, and it's that there and there. Okay, so it's 3 plus, and when it's 0.18 recurring, that is actually 18 over 99. If it's 2 decimal places recurring, it's over 99. If it was 3, 999. This one here, we've got 1 recurring, and it's over 9. So the number of digits that are recurring is the number of 9s that are in the denominator. It's 18 over 99. So your answer is, right, this will cancel. That's 18 and 99 both divided by 9. So it's 3 and 2/11ths. Now it's one 2-digit number divided by another 2-digit number. So let's see if we make this into a top-heavy fraction. 11 times 3 is 33, plus 2 is 35. 35 divided by 11. Okay, I'm just going to do this as a check. 11's into 35. Okay, 11's into 35 go 3, remainder 2. 11's into 20 go 1, remainder 9. 11's into 90, 8, remainder 2. Look, and there we are. 1, remainder 9. Okay, so it's going to be that pattern repeating. The reason why I checked, I like the way that it became a 2-digit number there straight away. 2 digits there and 2 digits there. Okay, which was helpful. If it hadn't, after we've done all that, I don't know, I suppose it was 35 over 9. You just have to double top and bottom to get an equivalent fraction. So it'd be like 70 over 18 or something like that. Okay, so it says find 2 numbers that she could have used. You see, you could have also come up with 70 over 22. That would have worked as well. Okay, so there, anyway, we've done it. Okay, right, next one. John has 8 shirts, 8 different shirts, 6 different hats, 4 different scarves. On Monday, he picks a shirt, a hat, and a scarf. Show there are 192 combinations he can pick. So the combinations are 8 times 6 times 4. Okay. 8 for the shirts, 6 for the hats, which is 48 times 4, which is 196. John thinks that if he picks just 2 of the 3 items of clothing, there will be more than 192 combinations. Is he correct? Show your reasoning. Not actually sure what this question is asking. If he picks just 2 of the 3 items of clothing, there will be more than 192 combinations. Is he correct? Well. Picks just 2 of the 3 items of clothing. Complicated one, I can't really. So you can either pick shirt and hat, shirt and scarf, hat and scarf. Okay, so if he picks a shirt and a hat, it's got 48 combinations there. 6 8s are 48. A shirt and a scarf, 8 4s are 32. And a hat and a scarf, 24. 14. £104. I would say is incorrect. He has 104 pairs. It's a funny question. Anyway, I'll check that one. And yeah. Simplify fully. I'll just write with that. That's 8 times 6, 8 times 4, 6 times 4. Yeah, that's where they come from. Right, the square root of 50 is the square root of 25 times 2. That's the square root of 2. So that's going to be 5 root 2 plus 1 root 2, which is 6 root 2. Okay. 10 divided by the square root of 6. What we do here is you multiply top and bottom by the square root of 6. So it's 10 root 6 over 6, which is 5 root 6 over 3, 5/3 root 6. Okay, right, so what I did here, the 50, the square number that goes into 50, or a square number that, well, the only square number that goes into 50 is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5, so that comes outside there. So you say you've got 5 root 2s plus 1 root 2 makes 6 root 2. These ones, when you've got 1 in the denominator, multiply top and bottom by that surd. So it's 10 root 6 over 6. Root 6 times root 6 is 6. And then divide top and bottom by 2 there, 5/3. Okay, there are 2 errors in Sam's method for finding the value of 64 to the power minus 2 over 3, shown below. Find the cube root of 64 and then multiply by 2. Well, that is incorrect. Multiply by 2. You've actually got to do the cube root of 64 and then square it. Okay, because this is the cube root and then it's squared, it's not multiplied by 2. The cube root of 64 is 4. And 4 times 2 is 8. Well, that is just the same on here. Multiply by 2. The negative power makes the answer negative. It doesn't. The negative power means we take the reciprocal. So the answer equals minus 8. So the error is there. Negative power makes the answer negative. It doesn't. Okay, so describe these errors. 64 to the minus 2/3. That's the cube root of 64. So we take the square root, take the cube root of 64, then that's that bit done. Then we square the answer. 0 times 2. Okay. So when you've got a fractional power, the denominator is that root. So that's the cube root of 64. The numerator is raised. The cube root is then raised to that power 2. And then the negative power, that means that we take the reciprocal for the answer of the answer above, from that line there. So 64 to the minus 2/3. The cube root of 64 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So that's dealt with that bit and that bit. And then reciprocal of 16 is 1 over 16. Okay. A, B, C, D are points on the circumference of a circle, centre 0. A, B, C, D, they're on a circle, centre 0. Okay. B, A, D B to A to D is 52. Work out X and give a reason for your answer. So when you've got the same start and finish point, and one goes to the circumference and one goes to the centre. So you start from B, go to the centre and then to D. Start from B, go to the circumference and then to D. The angle at the centre is always twice as wide as the angle at the circumference. So X is going to be 2 times 2. X is 104 degrees. And we say the angle at the centre is twice the angle at the circumference. 2 times 52 is 104. Okay, the angle Y, so what we've got here, let's see, that was the first one. If it looks like that, then that one is twice that one. When we're looking at Y, we've got a cyclic quadrilateral. So it's a quadrilateral drawn inside the circle with the 4 points on the circumference. And what you actually get is that the angle Y plus the opposite angles, in this case, well, C and the A, the angle at C and the angle at A, they add up to 180 when you've got a cyclic quadrilateral. So Y is going to be 180, take away 52, 128 degrees. Okay, so opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral get rid of that bit. Quadrilateral add up to 180 degrees, and 180 take away 52, 128 degrees. Okay, how many questions got? 17, 18, 19, there's usually 20, and today there's 21. Simplify x squared minus 16, x squared minus 3x minus 4. Now on the top, you might recognise this as the difference of two squares. Okay, because it is x squared, and its difference is minus, so there's a square. 16 is 4 squared, and it's a difference because it's a minus. So it's going to be x plus 4, x minus 4. So what it is, if it's the difference of two squares, it's x, the first letter, x plus the square root of the number times x minus the square root of the number. You can just write it straight out like that. 16, square root of 16 is 4, so it's x plus 4, x minus 4. And then on the bottom, think about it, I'll just do this in a bit more detail. X plus 4 times x minus 4, x squared, minus 4x there, plus 4x there, minus 16 when you multiply out, and they cancel. Okay, on the bottom, x squared minus 3x minus 4. Now, we're going to simplify. We're going to have to cancel one of these. So one of the factors is going to be x plus 4 or one of x minus 4, or else we're not going to be able to simplify. Okay, I'm hedging my bets and say it's going to be x minus 4 because of all these minuses. So I'm going to say, is it going to be x minus 4 times something? So to get x squared, we need an x there. Then we've got minus 4x, and we want minus 3x, so this has to be plus 1x. And then finally, minus 4 times plus 1 is minus 4. So it was right. So I'm going to say it's x plus 1 times x minus 4. They cancel, that's the simplifying part. So it's x plus 4 over x plus 1. Okie doke. X plus 3 times x minus 4 times x plus 5 is identical to x cubed plus ax squared minus 17x plus b. Find the value of a and the value of b. Right. Okay. Right, so the b, I was going to start using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, but I think we can do it a bit more efficiently than that. We can say, right, the b is these three constants multiplied together. So b is going to be 3 times minus 4 times plus 5. So it's going to be minus 60. 3 times minus 4 is minus 12 times 5 is minus 60. So b has to be minus 60. Right, a, the x squareds. The x squareds are going to come from... Oh, I don't know if I do this efficiently. Yeah, it's not going to be that efficient, I don't think. Let's just, I'll explain what I was thinking. So if we multiply these first two together, we'll get 3x and minus... No, there's nothing we can do. Only the b we can get efficiently. Right, so let's do x plus 3 times x minus 4. X squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 12. I've done this a couple of times now. So it's going to be x squared minus 1x minus 12. X squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 1x minus 12. So I've done the first two. So the next thing we need to do is multiply that by x plus 5. X squared minus x minus 12. So there's x cubed minus x squared minus 12x. X cubed, I should have said. 5x squared minus 5x minus 60. And our x squareds are there and there. Okay, so it's 5x squared minus 1x squared, 4x squared. Okay. Yeah, I can't, there might be an efficient way of doing it, but that's for me. And there's the minus 60 anyway, so it's proof of that. Well, not proof, but it is checked. Okay. Number 18. In a group of 120 adults, 85 watch football, 78 play a sport, and 20 do neither. Okay. So, we've got 120 watch football. 85 watch. So, I don't think that's going to be efficient. In a group of 120, 85 watch football, 78 play a sport, and 20 do neither. Just say it's a Venn diagram, isn't it? Watch football, play a sport, 20 do neither, so put 20 outside there. Okay, because they're not in watch football or play sport. So that means the numbers in here, this is just watch football, this is just play a sport, and this is do both. Okay. Now these three numbers have to add up to 100 because we've got 20 that do neither, so we've got 100 left over. Okay, now 85 plus 78 is 163. So that means there must be 63 that do both because we only want 100. we only need 100 in total. Okay, so there must be 63 overlaps. Okay, so watch football is 85. So watch football is 85. Take away 63, 22. And then play sport is 78. Take away 63, which is 15. And let's just check. Do these add up to 100, 15, 78, 100? Yeah. Okay, and those are the 20. So take away that first of all. Gets down to 100. These have got to add up to 100. If there was no overlap, we would end up with 163 people in the boxes. So the 100 means there's 63 in the overlap, because we only want 100 in the boxes. Categories. Okay, 85, and then you do 85, take away the 63 in there, 78, take away the 63 goes in there. Find the probability that an adult chosen at random from those who watch football does not play a sport. So, if we're in the watch football class, we've got 85 people. Okay, and of those, the ones that play sport are in there. So it's these ones, 22 out of the 85 who watch football do not play sport. Okay. Page 19. Sketch the graph of y equals x minus 2 squared minus 3. Show the coordinates of any turning points. Okay. The minimum, it's a quadratic this because of that squared, and it's got a positive coefficient of x. It's going to look like this. So it has a minimum point. And the minimum is going to be at, this is something squared. Something squared, the smallest it can be is 0 in real numbers. So we're going to have x equals plus 2 is going to be the minimum value of x, because that makes this 0. So the minimum is x is plus 2, and then y, if this is 0, if x is 2, so this is 0, y is minus 3. So the minimum is always this number with a change of, if we've got 1x there, is this number with a change of sign, plus 2, and then that exact number there, minus 3. Okay, so 2 across, minus 3 down, there's the minimum. The next thing we can do, so that's the turning point that they're on about. That's 2, that's minus 3. And we say x is equals to 0, y is equals to 0, minus 2 squared, minus 3. So that's going to be minus 2 squared, which is 4 minus 3, which is plus 1. Okay, so we've got this here. Okay, like this. Was not very neat. I'm not very happy with that. There we go. There we go. That's a bit of a blob there. Yes. Right. Yeah, so that's what that looks like. So that's the minimum, 2 minus 3. Alright. This sketch shows parts of a graph which has the equation ax squared plus bx plus c. Find the values of a, b and c. Okay. First thing, straight away, x equals 0, y equals 12. That straight away says that c is 12. That there, that has to be that one there, because x is 0, so 0, 0. C must be 12. Okay. Then when we've got So we've got y here, so we've dealt with that one. This point here, x equals minus 1, y equals 0, because it's got 0 height. X is minus 1, y is 0. It's got a times minus 1 squared plus b times minus 1 plus 12 equals 0. So that's substituting into there and noting that y is 0 at that point there. So that means minus 1 squared is plus 1. So a minus b, and then subtract the 12 from each side. It's minus 12. We do this one as well. X equals minus 3, y is equals to 0. So a times minus 3 squared plus b times minus 3 plus 12 equals 0. So this is plus 9a minus 3b equals minus 12 as well. Okay. Call this equation 1, this equation 2. Oh yeah, there's lots of points for this. I'm glad there's lots of points for this. Right, if I do, equation 2, look. I got this right. 9a squared minus 3b. Yeah, all these will divide by 3. So we're going to have 3a minus b is minus 4. That's going to be equation 2. Okay, now if I do equation 2, take away equation 1, the reason I've done that is because I've got more a's in here. That minus b minus minus b, that's going to be 0. So we'll do 3a, take away a is 2a. So that's that one, 3a, take away a is 2a. Then I'm going to do minus b minus minus b is 0. Then I've got minus 4 minus minus 12. Minus 4 minus minus 12 is 8. So a is 4. Okay. Then substitute for a in 1. And then 4 minus b is minus 12. So b is therefore 16. Okay. And that will work. Just having a quick check. 4 I'm just substituting here, so I've got a 4, yeah, that's fine, and then the next one minus 3, so 9a is 36 plus b times x. 36 minus 48 plus 12 is not, yeah, so yeah. Right, question 20. Diagram make you work hard, don't they? The diagram shows some land in the shape of a quadrilateral, A to B to C to D. So what have we got here? Got a right angle there, 30 degrees there, 3, 5, 12 there, yeah. Yeah, I've checked that. The land is sold for £10 million per square kilometre. Calculate the total cost of the land. Okay, right, I see triangles. Okay, triangles. Area of a triangle. Of a triangle, half base times perpendicular height. Okay, so this triangle, because it's a right angle, it's already perpendicular. I think I was thinking almost because it's not to scale. It doesn't look like it is, but it really is because it's perpendicular, the right angle there. So they've almost drawn it to scale, but they just right. Okay, so this one here, this triangle, a half base times height. So it's a half of 60, 30 square metres in there. So that one's quite a straightforward one. So the top one, so triangle ABC. So it's the perpendicular height is what we need first of all. So this one, this is one of those we have to use trigonometry, and it's one of the exact values that you need to remember. Okay, so the perpendicular height. So trigonometry, that's the right angle there, we've dropped here. This is opposite the 30. So we want the height. So the height, that's not the height. We want the opposite. Okay. So it's sine 30 times the hypotenuse, which is 3. Okay. I'm getting a bit tired. There's hypotenuse, that stands for sine, and that's opposite. Okay, we want the opposite because the perpendicular height is opposite the 30, so it's sine 30 times the hypotenuse, which is 3. It's going to be 3 times sine 30 degrees, and sine of 30 is one of the ones that you need to remember is a half. Okay, so sine 30 is a half. So this is 3 times a half, which is 1.5. Okay. Alright, so we've got this here. This is 1.5 kilometres. I've put metres squared there. That's kilometres there. Okay, so the base now. The base of triangle ABC here, this is actually the hypotenuse of this right angle triangle. Okay, so the base is going to be the square root, the hypotenuse is the square root, 5 squared plus 12 squared. So it's the square root of 25 plus 144, square root of 169, which is 13 kilometres. So the area of triangle ABC, a half of the base times the perpendicular height. Alright, so it's a half times 13 times 3 over 2. It's 39 over 4 kilometres squared. Okay, go a little bit further with that. 9.75. That's because it falls into 36 and 9, remainder 3.75 kilometres squared. Okay, so the total land, yeah, I'm glad this is lots of marks as well. The total land is going to be 39, so it's the 30 there, plus the 9.75 there, 39.5 square kilometres. And what is it? 10 million per square kilometre. So it's 39.75 times 10 million. Okay, so it's 3975. Let's take up 2 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 noughts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 noughts. But we want the answer in million. 1, 2, 4, 6. So it's 397.5 million pounds. Yeah, I mean it's square kilometres. When I first thought it was metres, I thought that was expensive. But when it's square kilometres, it's the price of it really. Gosh. Yeah. 3, 6, 39.7. Yeah. One more. N is an integer. Explain why 2n plus 1 is an odd number. Right. If n is an integer, 2 times n is even, regardless of n. Okay. Because 2n is going to have a factor of 2. 2n has a factor of 2. So is even. 2n plus 1 is, so we're going to have even plus odd, which is always odd. Prove that the difference between the squares of two consecutive odd numbers is a multiple of 8. Right, so two consecutive odd numbers. So 2n plus 1 is it an odd number? Consecutive means the next odd number. So I'm going to say 2n plus 3. Okay, because 2n plus 2, the next number along would be 2n plus 2, which would be even, so it's 2n plus 3. So 2n plus 1 squared is 2n plus 1 times 2n plus 1. 4n squared, 2n 1. So 2n plus 1 squared is 4n squared plus 4n plus 1. And then the next one, 2n plus 3 squared. 4n squared plus 6n, that's 6n again, and that's 9. Okay, so 2n plus 3 squared, 4n squared plus 12n plus 9. And so the difference is, do the second one, take away the first one. So the n squareds cancel out. It's 12n minus 4n plus 9 minus 1. So it's 8n plus 8. 8 times n plus 1. And this has a factor 8, hence is a multiple of 8. Oh, you're working hard, you work hard for your GCSEs. Right.